I'm Luke Addams, and here in Sutton I'm Assistant Director, Adult Social Care and Safeguarding. Gosh, in years I'm going to have to work that out, but actually I qualified in 1987, so a couple of years ago now. I started in what was called a generic team, so that involved serving a patch and dealing with every service user group on that patch. And I developed different specialities and have worked in different teams throughout my career. So I've worked in mental health services, child protection services, and more recently specialised in specific adult social care services. Well, I suppose in many ways I'm very fortunate because I've been in receipt of social work myself. As a child, I had my own social worker. I lived in a tall, damp council tower block, and was a child in a single parent family, and it's thanks to the intervention of that social worker that I was inspired to enter social work, and I know the difference that social worker made to me as a child, and throughout my training I remembered that, and I always wanted to make a difference. And I suppose there's that old cliche about wanting to make a difference, but as I grew up into social work, that became even more important to me, and particularly in adult social care, and even now actually with everything that's happening, and we're having an increased elderly population, and I can see poverty, and we're getting even more divides in society. And I don't want to make a sociological statement, but actually I think even now there's the opportunity to make a big difference to people's lives, and that doesn't change. And I've been able to do that throughout my career, and I think it's really important that motivated social workers are able to do that, so that still stands. The good thing about my role, it is so varied. So wherever I'm working, be it in the office, be it off-site, I'm working with partners in their offices, since the pandemic, working at home sometimes. Typically, I will start the day by answering one of the hundreds of emails that I do get, and those emails can be from frontline staff, heads of services, dealing with crisis, budget management, whatever. I'll then move on to one of a number of meetings throughout the day, dealing with operational practice issues, but also more strategic issues that deal with government's policy, the direction ahead, integration, working with partners to improve things for local people. And that's typical of every single day. So some of it is dealing with crisis in the service, working to improve the service, but also setting the standards and moving things forward collectively for the people of Sutton with our partners. So a typical day will be constant emails, constant meetings, walking the floor to meet frontline staff, working with heads of service to improve things, and often working really late as well. So there isn't a typical day, but those are elements of what I do every day. I think over the years that hasn't changed, and it's the ability to make a difference. What I really enjoy though is having the power to support staff to make a difference. And I look back and I see staff now, in looking back, at being at the same place I was as a frontline practitioner. And I think as a senior manager, I'm there to support my teams and encourage my teams in their work in providing services to the most vulnerable. And that's the thing I think that I enjoy most, in encouraging and supporting and helping others to make that difference that I experienced as that little boy years ago, and I can see them making a difference to vulnerable adults. So yeah, supporting others to make that difference is really, really important. I think undoubtedly we have fewer resources, and it's a mindset really to get people to engage in new ways of working, to work more efficiently and effectively, but also I think to empower people to embrace their communities and build on their strengths. Here in Sutton, I'm sure we're not alone in this, but here in Sutton we really embrace a strength-based approach to delivering social work. So that means looking at the strengths that individuals have and enabling them to tap into the strengths of local communities. And that's why partnership working is so important. And that's one of the challenges, is getting that mindset embedded into our staff and also into the communities we serve as well. And I think in this present climate, which is a difficult climate, that's one of the biggest challenges, I think, and going forward into the future. Considering it, I think, consider it carefully if you want to enter it, because it's not an easy job. It is the most fulfilling job in the world. You know, once you know that you can make that difference, and the rewards are not financial, so don't go in it for the money, but go into it with an open mind and realise that you can make such a difference to vulnerable people. You keep people safe, you empower people, and you really can support people to genuinely have and live better lives. But be open-minded, be prepared to work really hard, and the rewards will come. And there are fantastic, and I mean fantastic, opportunities if you want to enter social work. There's no doubt about that. That has remained right the way throughout my career, and I would encourage anyone who wants to enter social work, go into it seriously, think about it, but then absolutely submerge yourself into it. It's not a job, it is a career, and it requires real dedication, but boy, it is a fantastic thing to do. Challenging, no doubt. Uber rewarding, I know that's two, but if I can count that as one. Uber rewarding, satisfying. Well, that's the three, isn't it, really? I don't think I've ever worked in such a borough that is corporately so committed and aligned to supporting vulnerable people. As a social worker in Sutton, you do genuinely get a lot of opportunities, lots of support, and the narrative is around supporting residents and communities. And Sutton really is about supporting and caring for people. And that's what makes Sutton a special place to work. And that's true right the way across Sutton. But I think particularly for social work, because we are on the front line in social work here, and Sutton recognises and values that.